Hello. Everyone see my screen?
Yep, we can see and hear you.
Okay, cool. So I just thought I'd give a little demo of what we're doing at ASU with Islandora 8. So we had a legacy system that was totally custom, built on Django for our repository, and it served two purposes. It served our sort of institutional repository and our digital collections. And we decided we kind of wanted to get out of the business of having a special snowflake system and get involved in some more community driven repository solutions. And so we landed on Islandora 8. Um, and so we have built on Islandora 8 our new repository services. This is the landing page here. And we're using a multi-site setup because we wanted to separate our institutional repository from our digital collections sites, because they have kind of different needs and some different features. And so here on our landing page, we sort of feature, we've named them Keep as the institutional repository and Prism is our digital collections repository. And we're also still migrating from our legacy system, so we have that featured. And we also recently brought up an instance of Dataverse. So this is our landing page, and we built a little bento box style search that searches across all of them and presents users with a couple of results from each repository, as well as like a link to search that term in each of them. Um, and then I'll show you a little bit about Keep and Prism individually. So this is the Keep site, and I'm not sure how technical people want to go, but we're using a Bootstrap based theme, which is a sub theme of Bootstrap Barrio, um, which is a community developed theme in the Drupal community. And our designer has helped us come up with sort of an ASU branded version of that. Um, and to speak to kind of the objects, we created two content types. One is collection, and one is basically our version of repository item. If you're familiar with the Islandora defaults, it's kind of our version of that with different metadata fields based on the standards that our metadata team has come up with. Um, so I'll just show you maybe this collection. So this is our institutional repository, so it has a lot of kind of more article-based content. And we kind of built like a little landing page for each collection, and then you can also like search within each collection, which and we're taking advantage of a lot of the Islandora microservices that you get out of the box when you spin up Islandora 8. So like these thumbnails are generated automatically for us. And the facets, we've kind of cleaned them up some in terms of styling, but a lot of this is what you can get out of the box from I should say the base functionality is a lot of what you can get out of like the facets module, which comes from the Drupal community. And just to show you like what it looks like when you click on an item, we're featuring sort of brief metadata here, as well as things like downloading the object. And you can view sort of the full metadata on a separate page. We are also, um, we've chosen to put our viewers on a separate page. So like this is PDF.js, which you get out of the box with Islandora, and so we're putting it in this like explore document page. We've also done a very similar thing with OpenSeaDragon, um, where you kind of click on the thing or click on the explore button, and it takes you to like a more rich experience for the object. And we did that so that you could kind of see like a thumbnail of the object here, um, but also still get some metadata on this sort of introductory page. Um, the other thing that we've done here is we have a share your work, which is basically a self deposit feature uh, for faculty, staff, and students. And then we have some about pages as well. That's kind of it. Just show you the site search as well. Uh, on searching across the whole site, we also added like searching collections and items kind of at the same time, because that was something that we lacked in our legacy system that we thought that people frequently ask for. Um, yeah, that's kind of it for that's I guess good for Keep. Prism. This is a Prism site, which is our digital collection site. Um, it has kind of a similar look and feel overall. Just some minor differences as of right now. We're currently working on using the module that Seth's worked on for archive space Drupal integration to add our archive space archival description to our digital collection site here. But we haven't sort of worked out all the kinks on how we want to do that yet. So that's that. And the other thing I'll say about, well, both sites is that we're very early in the migration process. So there's only a handful of collections migrated into these. So we are working through that over the next few months. And oh, this would be a good example of OpenSeaDragon on another page. Maybe. Guess I have something to look into. Okay. Um, the other thing I'll say, oh, of course, it loaded when I. The other thing I'll say is that we have deployed this system entirely on AWS, which is a big shift for us institutionally. We sort of are making a drive towards the cloud. So that another big part of that of this deployment, it was using the Islandora playbook, kind of spinning our own version of that and using that to deploy to an AWS system using EC2 containers, RDS for the database, CloudFront, and a whole slew of AWS services to get this as sort of distributed as possible. And I did mention earlier that we're using multi-site. So the Prism and the Keep sites are actually on the same Drupal installation using multi-site, and they communicate with the same Fedora underneath in two separate routes in Fedora. And so we're also using like shared Solr, shared microservices stack to kind of reduce the need to run multiple sets of all these components. And that's been working out great for us so far as well. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions or anything they're interested in seeing?
I know you've been putting some work into Mirador. Is there anything like visible anywhere with that yet?
No, we haven't turned on Mirador yet. So yeah, I contributed like a little sub module of Islandora defaults to enable Mirador as an alternative to OpenSea Dragon, and we just haven't turned that on yet, honestly, in our local systems. Yeah, I personally, we've had people actually ask for Mirador at our institution, which is why I looked into it. Mostly because they're interested in Mirador allows you to kind of um, you can basically view like side by side from multiple institutions or kind of configure that how you want to, which is kind of powerful and interesting. But yeah, we just haven't turned it on yet. If anybody's here from the metadata side, I can say a little bit about that. We've done we took the Islandora defaults repository item and expanded on it. We added many more fields. We also used paragraphs, which is a Drupal contributed module, to build more complex field types. So we've created like a typed identifier field, um, as well as a typed note field. So you can basically have your content and then also have like a type field, which we're using a taxonomy because that was something that our metadata staff were really interested in. We also created one for a paragraph field for the title because we wanted to be able to support splitting a title into parts, like the non-sort, the main part of the title, and the rest of the title or subtitle. Um, and uh, yeah, so um, to use those kind of special fields, we did some customization in terms of the display and the indexing and also the RDF mapping in order to get those custom fields propagating through the system correctly.